Movie studios are always looking for that billion-dollar idea. When they see that M turn into a B, oh man, studio people go nuts. They freaking love that. They would have much preferred Chamillionaire's music if he went by Kabillionaire. Thousands and thousands of films have come out since Edward Muybridge made the first motion picture ever in 1878 featuring a horse in motion, which by the way has a 7.4 on IMDb. Are you guys really rating the first film ever? I mean, I know it doesn't have much story, but you don't need to do that. People that Google first motion picture ever are gonna watch it. Nobody's like, huh, I wonder what the first motion picture, oh, 7.4, okay, that could be better. I'm gonna watch Batman v Superman instead. So anyway, since the beginning of film, 43 movies have made over $1 billion. Out of the thousands and thousands of movies, this has happened 43 times. Needless to say, it takes a special kind of movie to get the job done. Just some amazingly original concepts, truly works of pure creativity that, no, I'm just kidding. They're like all remakes and sequels. 4 of them aren't, so that's something. 4 of them are original works, but the 39 others came from some studio guy shouting, "Another!" The outliers of this list are Zootopia, that was a good movie, I'm cool with that. Another one is Frozen, that's also a movie. And then the other 2 originals are Titanic and Avatar. So if there's anyone that could get some more original stuff on that list, it's gotta be James Cameron. Save us, James Cameron, you're our only hope. Oh, what's that? He's working on Avatar 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10? Okay, never mind. Now, originally this video was gonna be about how sad it is that Hollywood keeps churning out remakes and sequels and reboots and whatnot, but to be honest, I can't really blame them because, I mean, it's their job to make money and those things make money. Just look at the list. I spoke about this in another video in reference to movies based on video games, but it's always gonna feel like a safer move for a studio to greenlight a movie that has a pre-existing fan base built into it. It's just less of a risk, it's just common sense, and you can't really fault them for having common sense. It's unfortunate for, you know, originality, but it makes sense. So anyway, there's actually some more interesting stuff going on this list of billion-dollar movies besides the fact that they're all reboots and sequels. One of the things is that some of these movies are pretty recent, and by some of them I mean 36 out of 43 of them came out after 2010. Just Avatar came out in December of 2009, and since then it's just been billions and billions and billions. Just a big old billion party this decade. Now yeah, part of this has to do with inflation. You know, like a general increase in the price of goods over the years. Like if you ask your granddad about it, he'll tell you that back in the day, 25 cents would get you a movie ticket and a large popcorn and a large soda and a 3-bedroom bungalow. Taking that into consideration, Gone with the Wind is actually the highest grossing movie of all time. It made $200 million. With inflation, that's $3.7 billion. Way to go, Clark Gable, you sly dog. That's nuts. You won. Well done. So yes, absolutely, inflation does play a part in those numbers, but there's a lot more than just that going on. Sequels and remakes are not a new phenomenon in Hollywood at all. That's been happening for years and years and years. Just look at A Star Is Born. They can't stop remaking that movie. But anyway, remakes and sequels in the past 10 years have been crushing it at the box office. And there's gotta be more going on there beyond just inflation. So let's go back to the list again. There's another interesting thing that pops out when you really look at these titles. Aladdin, right, okay. Avengers, that makes sense. Star Wars, kind of seeing a common owner here. Okay, yeah, that's a whole lot of Disney. There is so much Disney going on this list. In fact, out of 43 movies that have crossed $1 billion, they made or were involved in 25. 25 out of 43. That's almost 60% if you prefer percentages for whatever reason. This year alone, in 2019, 6 movies have made over $1 billion. And 5 of those are straight out of Disney. Captain Marvel, Aladdin, Avengers Endgame, The Lion King, and Toy Story 4. And the 6th movie to make more than $1 billion in 2019, Spider-Man Far From Home. That's got Sony written on it, but Disney totally made that. We all know this. Plus, the year isn't even done. Did you know that? Did you know that the year isn't done? Disney still has some major movies coming out this year. There's Frozen 2. That's pretty much guaranteed to pass $1 billion. The original did, and this is a sequel to that, which actually seems to increase its odds. Then in December, there's Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. The saga is ending. You have to imagine that people are gonna go see that too. Even if you hated The Last Jedi, there's probably still a little part of you that's like, okay, but how are they gonna end this though? There's also Maleficent 2 coming out, which, it has a chance. It has a pretty good chance of passing $1 billion. So Disney's gonna close this year off with 8 to 9 movies that made over $1 billion a piece. Plus all the other stuff they've put out that just didn't cross $1 billion, that still brings in money. And so, they seem to be doing well for themselves and stuff. Give yourself a nice Christmas bonus there, Bob Iger. You had a good year. Go ahead and buy that fancy clock radio you've had your eye on. Just go ahead and treat yourself. Of course, we all know that in recent years, Disney's been rolling with like a Pac-Man strategy in Hollywood where they just eat up all these other studios. Or I guess they're absorbing them, so Kirby might be the better analogy. Since 2006, they've acquired Pixar, Lucasfilm, Marvel, and just this year, all of 20th Century Fox. They're just spreading through Hollywood like that blob thing in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which they own. But Disney snatching up all these companies and releasing franchise movies and reboots and sequels and whatnot, that's not the only piece of the puzzle explaining all their billion-dollar movies. A big part of it also has to do with the fact that the media landscape has really changed very recently. Their Pac-Man Kirby strategy has been especially effective because of another unexpected player making a big splash in the entertainment industry. That's right, Netflix. It's kind of ironic. I recently made a video talking about how Netflix might be in a little bit of trouble now that Disney Plus is coming out, which you could check out that video if you want. And that's still very true. Disney is coming out swinging with Disney Plus. They have a ton of big shows and movies on the way, and they're taking a bunch of stuff off of Netflix's platform. It's gonna be intense. But what's funny, or horrifying, depending on how you want to look at it, is that the massive success that Disney has found in recent years can actually be in large part attributed to the success of Netflix. Not to sound all old and crotchety, but going to the movies used to be a pretty common pastime. People went to the actual movie theater on a regular basis. It's where movies came out, it's where they were released. Watching movies at home didn't let you see actual new releases. But in recent years, Netflix has first of all made it very simple to see those so-called new releases a couple of months after they hit theaters, but also they started releasing actual new releases that they made into people's homes. Rather than going to the theater to catch a fun, non-blockbuster movie, those kinds of films became available anywhere you had access to a screen. You could be deep in the forest and you have like 1 or 2 bars of reception, you can still catch Ben Affleck in Triple Frontier the second it comes out. You want to see a comedy? Pick any one, and just sit on your couch and watch it. This stuff is available very simply. And this all makes it sound like movie theaters must have taken a big hit, right? Actually, what's interesting is that, as Scott Mendelson points out in his article on Polygon, theater attendance hasn't actually really gone down. What has happened instead is that it's become more focused on a smaller pool of movies. Now going to the movie theater is an event, not a pastime. On top of that, people are spending more money on premium experiences at the movies. We're talking 3D, IMAX, those seats that vibrate. These things cost extra money. So think about that. More money is being spent on average per movie ticket at the theater. And those tickets are being purchased for movies that are considered, events. And because, as I mentioned, Disney's been playing Pac-Man / Kirby with studios and production companies for the past decade, they practically have a monopoly on those big event films now. Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, these are the kinds of events that people are willing to leave their homes for. They can get romantic comedies at home at the click of a button, but seeing Thanos get hit in the face with Mjolnir, that's something you kind of want to see on the big screen. If theater attendance is now focused on a smaller pool of movies, they own the pool. They own the lifeguard, they own the company that makes that super high chair he sits in, there's a Mickey Mouse on his whistle. The weird thing is that Disney kind of went all out this year with their event movies. Like, they played a lot of their good hands. Avengers Endgame, that was a massive event movie, the end of an era. And sure, there's a lot of Marvel on the way, but there's not really anything Marvel related on the horizon of that scale. I'm sure the Black Widow prequel will be very entertaining and everything, but it's nowhere near the kind of event that Endgame was. Same for Star Wars. 2019 has the end of an era in that franchise too. The Rise of Skywalker is the third and final movie of the new trilogy. Toy Story 4, I mean, they're probably never gonna make a Toy Story 5, so that's over with. Even when you look at Disney's new thing where they do like live action remakes of their animated movies, this year had Aladdin and Lion King. Those were two of their most popular animated movies, and I think them going all out on those event movies this year just shows how serious they are about Disney Plus. They're really looking to take over the streaming industry, which is the industry that actually helped them take over the box office these last couple years. I mean, after this year, if you want more Star Wars after the big finale of The Rise of Skywalker, well, The Mandalorian's gonna be on Disney Plus. If you want some more of the Avengers characters after Endgame, they have a bunch of Marvel shows lined up. If you liked Toy Story 4 this year, well, Forky's gonna have his own show on Disney Plus. Their service is even gonna have live action remakes of animated classics. So what we're really gonna find out, and soon enough, is whether or not these franchises and sequels and reboots are gonna be as valuable for Disney on streaming as they have been on the big screen. Will they still make billions at the box office? Are they gonna make billions on the streaming side of things? It's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. And you know, whatever happens, one thing is for sure. That horse movie deserves at least an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna give these people a piece of my mind. I invite you to do the same. That needs to be an 8. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching that video, guys. What do you think the next couple of years are gonna look like at the box office? Is Disney gonna continue its billion streak? Is a new studio gonna sweep in, or is everything just gonna turn to streaming? Let me know your thoughts, and if you want some more videos, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.